Okay, first thing, just like to say I appreciate our fans coming out. You know, the forecast was miserable. It was raining all day until the kick, and so I really appreciate those guys coming out. Thought overall it was a good day. What really stood out to me is our defense played extremely well, and our second defense played well too. And they've done that all spring. Anders Carlson, our kicker, he's done that all spring too. That was very encouraging to see him out there kicking the way he has been up to this point in front of a crowd. You know, tailback-wise, you know, our plan was to rotate those guys, especially the young guys, see what they could do. And they held on the football. That was really, you know, was my main thing. And you could see those young guys have a lot of ability, broke some tackles, did some good things. But and then our quarterbacks, it was good to see those guys out in front of a crowd. You know, the thing with Malik, we missed a couple ones, you know, over the top. I think we overthrew a couple, but, you know, he's going against one of the best, you know, defenses in college football, and that'll only make him better. But overall, you know, both sides of the football got after it and had fun out there playing in front of our home crowd. So, questions?
How's Jeremiah Benson? What was his injury?
Yeah, he had a little shoulder. I don't know how serious it was, but you know, he had a shoulder injury. Brodarius, you know, he had a scare with his knee. Now he's walking around right now. I mean, we'll see how that ends up.
And
Jordan Peters, he tweaked his ankle out there, so I think he'll be okay.
What's one of the biggest areas of concern for you coming out of spring?
Of course, we got one more practice. Areas of concern. Here, first of all, here's what I feel good about. You know, I feel good about our defense. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they just carried over. And I feel good about our offensive line from the standpoint, our first offensive line. You saw those guys get better and start working together. You know, running back-wise, we are going to have some depth. There's no doubt about that. You know, receiver-wise, you know, Ryan Davis didn't go today. We held him out, and that was by design. You know, he's been had a little bit of a hamstring. We know what we're going to get with him, so he didn't go. But, you know, overall, I feel good about where we're at. I mean, we battled some injuries, you know, obviously the two wide receivers. But, you know, I thought it's been very successful up to this point.
Cam Martin held out.
Yeah, Cam Martin had a little bit of a tweak to his hamstring. He was going to see if he could go in pregame, and you know, we decided, or he just said, "Hey, I'm not 100%." So that was. And here's the deal with Cam. We know what we're getting with Cam, and he's had a very good spring, and so it was good. And I know Coach Horton was planning on, you know, getting the majority of the reps for those young guys anyway.
Same thing for Chandler Cox, just kind of holding him out.
Yeah, Chandler Cox, you know, really there wasn't anything wrong with him at all. It's just, you know, he's a 3-year starter. You know, he's got more experience at that position than anybody we've ever had, and so we wanted to give those other guys opportunities to show what they could do, you know, especially with the one. So I thought that was good, and, you know, that'll give us some depth, you know.
Coach, obviously, Malik's been working with the one. I know he was out there against the first, you know, out there against a good defense.
Yeah.
Were you expecting at least a better performance considering the work he got?
Well, you know, like I said, I think he missed a couple kind of over the top. There was two that I know he'd like to have back that if we'd hit those, I think he'd have been feeling better. I mean, the fumble is really what stand out to me. We just got to protect the football. But, you know, overall, I think he's had a solid spring. And but like I said, he'd like to probably have those two back that we kind of overthrew.
Nick Coe kind of put an exclamation point on his spring overall with that sack and the safety.
Yeah, that was impressive. He made a very good move on that and got the safety. And you know, he's a guy that they've been talking about taking that next step. And I think he's had a very solid spring too.
Can you talk about C.J. Tolbert?
Yeah.
Every time he gets
How about old C.J.? Yeah, C.J. We're very proud of him, and he's kind of one of those guys that a lot of people don't talk about, but every time he gets in there, he produces. And he made an explosive run down the right side. He protected the football, too. Made a very good run getting in the end zone. Made a guy miss. So, you know, he's had a very good spring, and he's in the mix. There's no doubt about that.
So he could actually carry the ball in a game where it mattered.
I would say he's in a good spot.
Did you like what you saw from Booby Whitlow back there?
Yeah, you know, Booby's got that ability. I mean, he just needs to carry the ball more, but he does have a unique ability. You know, he made a play similar to that a couple weeks ago and actually scored a touchdown reversing field and all that. Of course, you can't make a living in this league, with the speed doing that. But I thought it was encouraging that he doesn't like to go down, and he just needs more experience. And I thought Ace had made some good runs too, and so we've got some depth at the tailback position.
What's the biggest area that Whitlow needs to work on?
I think he just needs more experience and more carries between the tackles. I think he played quarterback, in high school, and he got some quarterback runs, but there's nothing like, getting that feel behind an offensive line, playing tailback.
Because when the defense dominates this spring in scrimmage settings as much as they have, how much of that is a point of pride that, hey, this defense is really talented, and how much of it is a point of concern that this offense is not able with?
Well, I'll say this just from my standpoint. Our leader on offense, Jarrett Stidham, wasn't out there. And, today there was some impact players. I think Ryan Davis led the league in receptions, and we held out Chandler Cox. So, there's no concern. But I will tell you this, our defense has a chance to be really good. So, just from a head coach's standpoint, up to this point in spring, I feel very good about our overall team. Kicking game was something I was concerned about, losing Daniel, and I think everybody sees. I think we're in a position to be pretty good for the kicking game, for a long time too. So, I'm feeling good. There's no concern after a spring game. I think, thinking about Malik Willis, I think we had a guy named Cam Newton a few years back. I think he went 3 for 8 in the spring game, and everybody's real concerned. And I think he went on to win the Heisman Trophy. So I don't overreact on a spring game type setting.
The secondary, lose a lot of guys back there. But like they had a good day, especially tackling.
Yeah, those 2 young guys were flying around. There's no doubt about that, and they've done that all spring too. So, that was good to see, and it was good to see them do that, in front of our crowd too.
On punt return there, they had a couple of muffs. One was dropped off the chest.
Yeah.
Is any concern going there, or what have they been doing?
Well, that we've been doing similar to what we did today, and been rotating guys and just trying to get information from those guys. And once we get to fall camp, we'll narrow some things down. I mean, obviously Ryan Davis has done it in a game, and we kind of know what we have as far as he is concerned. The rest of the guys, they're in competition, and everything will be evaluated as of today was too.
You talk about feeling good about the offensive line. How much has Austin Troxell's development helped?
Yeah, Austin really has come on, and I'm very impressed with him. Him and Calvin Ashley, there's some great competition there, and that's 2 talented guys, and they're starting to come on. So Prince Tega is a guy that, I've said it, I guess last week, that he's really taken that next step, and really I see the leadership. And then you got Marquel Harrell, Mike Horton that just has starts and experience and all that. So, that offensive line, especially the first team offensive line, really starting to come together. So that was encouraging, the last week of spring.
Lindsey said he would like to be able to narrow the running back stand maybe 2 or 3 at the end of spring. Do you think he can easily do that now?
We're hopeful we can have some kind of order like we talked about, at the first of spring. Today was really good. We got a lot of information, so they'll grade the film. We'll see where we're at, and then we'll finish up spring, with a Tuesday practice. It'll be more special teams and special situation oriented, but there will be some offense and defense too.
How much has the competition at that position helped out throughout spring and just pushing everybody in the running back?
The running back, yeah, there's nothing better than competition, and it keeps everybody on that edge. And my experience is when you have competition, the cream rises to the top, and we've got some pretty good information, from those guys. And like I said, big picture right now, the thing I can tell you is we're going to have depth, and you cannot have enough depth in this league at the running back position.
How much confidence does it give you, those young guys stepping in on defense, to really mesh with those vets that you have come back on the line?
You talking about running backs?
No, on defense, just those young guys, the rising sophomore guys.
Oh, yeah.
And just how much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, I think we got some quality depth, up front, and we got quality depth at the linebacker position too. And like I said, I know Coach Steele's focus was on the back end, putting all the pieces to the puzzle. And I think overall they've done a very solid job.
Because as someone who puts as much importance on spring as you do and have for years, how much do you look at this spring as a bit of a missed opportunity for the offense between Jarrett not being able to go? I know it's maybe 1 scrimmage, but Cam being held out, Ryan missing a couple, the offensive line injuries, the receiver injuries. some of this to the big picture has to be a bit of a missed
Yeah,
opportunity.
I think the only thing that I can say about that is obviously the two receivers that we had with ACLs. I mean, that was a very tough deal. Everything else, from a Jarrett Stidham standpoint, you'd like to have him out there. But the positive is those two other guys got quality experience, okay, and that'll help us in the fall. And then the thing about with Jarrett, even though he's 1 year with us in this league, he played pretty well, and he does have experience, and he's kind of been from the other perspective, that seeing things from a different standpoint, and I think that'll help him. So really I see the quarterback deal as being a positive as far as big picture. The unfortunate thing is the two receivers, that we just got to have other guys step up, and it has given some other guys some opportunities, but I'd say that's the only tough blow, up to this point.
Anything else? All right, Coach.
Thank you all. Okay.